Okay, welcome back to Ruffles. I want to talk about the best destroyer in the game. In my opinion, Eris. Eris is amazing. All three variants are amazing. I use each one of these variants situationally throughout the entire server. Early game, mid game, late game. They are fantastic ships. This is an alt account that I inherited from a friend. I'll just show you a battle that I just did, showcasing the heavy type B. It hits pretty hard compared to the best damage dealer destroyer and frigates. It's not as good, but it hits pretty hard. I think it's not the heaviest damage, but if you look, we actually do some intercept as well. Not very much, but a little. You have a tiny chance to intercept that you don't even need to level a skill for on this frigate, or the destroyer. It's just part of how the cannon works. And it's only for target yourself, which is the poorly translated Chinese version of only missiles and torpedoes that are trying to hit this ship. It has a small chance to intercept, which is still awesome. So my build for the heavy cannon variant, I like to do this unless I'm going for the strategy. This reduces cooldown and hit rate. The damage really drops off for this unless you're going to max it out. If you're going to at least bump this up to level 5, then you can see it reduces the hit rate reduction to where it becomes worth it. Because now your cooldown is also increased. Basically, this gets a lot better for each square that you do. I'll just do one just to show you. So now it's what? That's 13.8% hit rate reduction. And if I keep going even to level 5 or 6, then it becomes worth it to use this. If you're being cheap, don't want to spend the tech points. Or sorry, these aren't tech points. These are weapon tech. Then don't pick it up. This I've also never touched. I don't want to sink weapons because I want the anti-aircraft. This has 2 weapons. It has this and this. And if they're both hitting different targets, you're overall just hitting more damage. So my rationale is sinking weapons for a single target. Maybe it works if your battles are slower, like in the newer or early game where ships take longer to die. But when you're in an escort fleet and you're damaging fleets much quicker and your enemies are dying faster, then it just doesn't make sense to be sinking weapons. And it's only every 80 seconds. So take that situationally depending on if you want it. Other than that, I always try to go for armor for this one, because I want it to be healed. It has enough armor to where it can get healed a lot. Basically, the amount that you can heal is proportional to the amount of armor the ship has. It's a hidden mechanic in the game that I've just come to realize is true after talking with experienced players and playing a lot. I don't know exactly how it works, but I do know that if you want a ship to be healed, then give it more armor. If you're just trying to make it be a meat shield and last longer, then don't go for the armor. Go for structure so that you get more HP. Like, for example, if I did that here, and I only have 1 extra upgrade slot for the Apex right now on this account. So now I'm at 45k. What was I at before?
Heading to the target location.
Yeah, 45k. So if I don't, and I just do 1 structure, 42. Okay, so 3,000 more HP. And this is this one is kind of your balanced. It's the highest damage one. It's the most popular. But I'm seeing a lot of experienced players actually use cannon type. So this one is awesome because all of these are front row, by the way. All of them are front row, and I believe they all have an evasion skill. But this thing is really hard to hit. It has very high evasion. And evasion is kind of the name of the game in Infinite Lagrange. It also has a better intercept skill. So you'll intercept more on the front row, which is awesome, but you have a lot of evasion skills. So this adds, so when your HP gets to 20%, you increase the evasion, and then you still get the, when it falls to 10%, you retreat to the middle row. And then you have 2 more evasion skill boosts. So this is definitely
warp drive
worth
module.
it. That's basically what the function of this ship is. You stick it in the front row, you give it as much HP as possible. I would just do this, and then this. And then the last slot, you can grab an armor. These are basically just going to be dodging enemy shots for as long as possible. And they'll last a long time in your front row. They will not do any damage. This should not be A. This should say C, because it really just does not do any damage. Okay, so grab the intercept, and then I would grab frequencies and then hit rate, because you're just going to want to be trying to stave off enemy aircraft. If you're fighting another escort fleet, then you're not going to be fighting aircraft, so then you want to maybe go for damage. Maybe frigate and destroyer hit rate. The other situational thing that people can use the cannon type for is vision. This requires a lot of tech points, but it increases field of view for qualified fleets. Qualified fleets is just that you have at least 3 of them. And so if you're in a union that's in a war, what they'll have you do, what they'll have a lot of people do, and they'll have alt accounts that do this. They will just level this up to max and then send out mini fleets of just 3 of these. So you can have a bunch of them, and you can have 3 per account, and they'll just send them out because their field of vision in the fog of war becomes
Warp drive module is cooling down.
It's like the level of an outpost or a base just for this fleet. So it's really good for scouting enemies or picketing your own hives where your union is, so you can see enemies coming pretty quickly. But it does make it so that it costs a lot more action points to use them, but it's pretty awesome as far as having vision and scouting. Pretty cool feature you can use it for if you want. Armored type is probably my second favorite of the 2. This is a very, very tanky ship. Let me pull some tech points so I can just show you how much HP and armor this thing can get. It's pretty awesome. Oh my gosh, really? I can't take more points. Lame. Alright, here's what we'll do. We will just see if I can get all the armor. Or the structure, rather. And I can. And then I can do some armor. Yay.
Destination confirmed.
So we're at 51k for a destroyer, and it's 7 command points. That's pretty good. Also front row. This one won't have as much evasion. It does have, I think, 1 evasion slot that you can take. Still, when it falls to 20%, it will increase evasion. So that's awesome. Still worth doing. But this one's role is more just soaking up damage before it dies. This is also shouldn't be an A. These basically do no damage to other ships. The only one that really does damage, if you need damage dealer, like a balanced one, this is an awesome ship. So my recommendation is always keep a lot of points in Eris. I see Eris on experienced players' fleets all the time. I see them all game long, all server long, early game, late game. These are amazing ships. And you can switch your tech points between the variants, obviously, so depending on where you are at in your server, you may want to switch between these variants. I love running these C and A together, all 20, because I have enough tech points on my main account to run both with max health and armor. So they just last a while. They're very cheap tanks. These are 7 tech points each. You can run a ton of them in a fleet. This is 9 points. It's still pretty cheap. The great thing that makes this super valuable is you'll notice it doesn't do nearly as much damage as Xenostinger, but Xenostinger's kind of made of paper. If it gets targeted, it just dies. This thing it's a frigate, first of all. It's 8 command points, so it's 1 less than the damaged, or than the heavy cannon type Aerys, but 15k HP. And like no armor. This thing, it just doesn't last. 11 armor, yeah, it's okay. Whereas this thing sits in front row. It soaks up damage. It has good evasion. And it does damage. It's just a really good balanced ship for 9 command points. For 1 more command point, you sacrifice some damage, but you get a front row tank with 42 KHP instead of 15. So you're forcing your enemy to deal a ton more damage to take you down just by using these. If you can use them in the same fleet, kind of like I did here, just because this is an account that's really not been active, then that works too. You just put these in the front. They're great ships. One more thing to note about Eris that I didn't mention. They have a blockade feature. And I think it's only on the... Is it on the armored type?
Moving to
only?
destination.
It's not this one. I believe it's armored type. Blockade engagement. This is a cool feature.
Warp drive module is
So
cooling
when the
down.
fleet executes blockade command, it will engage first. And ships of the same model will cover all front row ships for the first 30 seconds of the battle. So you need to have at least 5. So that's cool. So basically you put your tank fleet, if you're blockading, you put at least 5 of these armored destroyers in. You make sure that it's the flagship. It has to be the flagship. And then that fleet will always guaranteed engage first out of all the ships that you have blockading. Pretty cool. You can also make it even more tanky because there's anti-crit and system structure here. Definitely grab the evasion strategy. The last thing you should do is intercept here. I would do the evasion, all your armor, and then intercept. And then situationally, if you're using this, and then this last. That's for the armored type. So again, Aerys is awesome. It's a fantastic ship. All 3 variants get used often. I run into cheap tank fleets where they're doing both A variant and C variant, like I mentioned, in the same fleet. So that's 20 high evasion ships that are really annoying to deal with that you kind of have to chew through before your direct fire targets can hit the mid row or the back row.
Warp drive module
So
is
yeah,
cooling
fantastic ships.